Get started. Thank you for being here. So the muscle that we're working, the muscle of the week, I'm going to show you, and I'm going to show my Zoomers. If it works. There we go. Okay, this is called the serratus anterior. It goes from here to here. I'll show you a picture. In fact, I think I can give you a picture if you care. It's an odd looking muscle because it looks like fingers around your ribs, and it starts in the front part of your body around your rib cage, and then it goes all the way, attaches to your spine in the back. So it's part of your core strength. And as you can see, when we do cat bows, that's that picture on the right where the person's doing a cat bow. Those are the muscles that you really engage when you do that. So the reason, one of the reasons why this muscle is so important is
these guys.
Let's see. Here, okay. Now, I hope you can see this. This is the upper crossed syndrome. One second, there we go. So this is one of the reasons why this muscle is so important. There's these postural misalignments that have a name that's called upper crossed syndrome and lower crossed syndrome. Were you here on Sunday? Did I explain this on Sunday? Okay, you weren't here on Sunday. David, you want to see this? Okay. Okay, so what this is when you have your posture where your neck juts forward and you got a hump in your back, that's called the upper cross syndrome. It's due to weak neck flexors and then the tight back neck muscles, which is the upper trapezius and the levator scapula. And then the bottom half of the misalignment in the posture is when you have a sway back and your belly sticks out. So that's because of a tight back muscles and tight psoas, you remember our psoas, and weak abdominals and weak glutes. So both of these syndromes can come one or the other. And the muscles we're going to work on today, including the serratus anterior, helps the postural. Now, the reason they call the serratus anterior that muscle is because it looks like it's serrated. And let me see if I can, okay. Because it looks like it's serrated, like a bunch of fingers. And then anterior means front. So that's why they call that muscle serrated anterior. All right, let's do our breathing. And that serratus anterior muscles, those muscles are part of holding your rib cage. So when you breathe and you feel your rib cage expand, you're actually using those muscles to breathe. So focus on the breath, close your eyes. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. And then just imagining those finger-like muscles on your rib cage going all the way to your spine. As you inhale, how they expand your rib cage. And as you inhale, your abdominal muscles are being worked. And your back muscles are being worked just by breathing. Very subtle movements in the muscles, but they're there. And the biggest muscle that moves when you're breathing is your diaphragm, the concave muscle that's on the bottom of your rib cage that contracts when you breathe in, massages all your organs. And let's do one more deep, long yoga breath and return your breathing back to normal. And then let's please take a deep breath in and we'll Om in together. Om. Om Balu Satguru Bhagavan Ki, the divine is the inner teacher. Okay, thank you everybody for being here. So the upper cross syndrome, where the neck juts out, we're going to start loosening, we'll loosen up our neck muscles to help with that. So sitting up nice and tall, take a deep breath. As you exhale, look over your right shoulder. Go as far as you can, but keep your shoulders facing forward. And then right away, you feel your levator scapula and your upper trapezius on the right side of your neck stretching. That gets very tight. A lot of it is from stress that sometimes we don't even realize we're hunching our neck and shoulders when we're stressed. Inhale. Exhale. Bring your chin a little bit in front of your right shoulder and then drop your chin down so that you're looking at above your right knee. And then inhale here. Exhale, bring your chin down to the center of your chest and look down, straight down in front of you. And then inhale as you slowly drag your chin to the left. Park it right in front of your left shoulder. Keep it tucked and look at something above your left knee. And then slowly lift your chin so that it's parallel to the ground and turn your head even more to the left if you can. And feel that stretch. So the trapezius muscle is the upper back muscle, but it goes all the way up and attaches to your skull. And that's what you're feeling along with your levator scapula, which is underneath that muscle. Inhale. Exhale, bring your head back to center. Inhale. Exhale, right ear goes to the right shoulder. And then the right hand comes to the left side of the head. Just rest it there. Don't put any pressure on it. And then take your left arm and just let it float out to the side. Push your fingertips away and just feel how that enhances the stretch. And now maybe you can even feel that stretch going all the way down your deltoid, your shoulder, upper shoulder. And slowly release the hand, bring your head back to center. Inhale, exhale, left ear to left shoulder, left hand on the right side of the head. And then the right arm floats out, push the fingers away to further enhance the stretch. And breathe. One more breath here. And as you exhale, remove the hand, bring your head back to center, and let's change the cross of our legs. And then we'll bring our fingertips to the tops of our shoulders, and we'll warm this area up by just starting to make small circles with our hummingbird wings. And just feel how the muscles in your rotator cuff and your shoulder muscles just start loosening up here. And then gradually make the circles bigger and bigger. So when your wings go back, you're squeezing your rhomboid muscle between your shoulder blades. And that's one of the muscles that gets tight, and that's how we have a humpback. Remember, we studied the rhomboids a couple weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. Okay, now pause with your elbows out to your sides. Inhale, exhale, bring the elbows in front, touch if you can, they don't have to touch, and then bring them out to the sides again. And now we're gonna bring our elbows up. The backs of your hands are gonna come toward each other behind your head, but it doesn't have to touch, and make sure your neck stays nice and soft here, and then bring your elbows back. Okay, with breath, inhale. Exhale, elbows forward. Inhale, open, exhale, up. Inhale, open, exhale, forward. Inhale, open, exhale, up. Inhale, open, exhale, forward. Inhale, open, exhale, up. And then release. Shake your arms and your shoulders out. And then lace your fingers. Bring them in front of your chin, in front of your mouth, so that your elbows are shoulder height. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, you're going to bring your elbows together in front of you. Keep them at shoulder height. Your arms don't have to touch here, but if they do, that's good. And then slowly bring your hands back to level. And then inhale here. And then as you exhale, keep your hands here and just drop your elbows down. They don't have to touch. And then come back up to level. Okay, then we'll do that again. Inhale. Bring your elbows together. And then exhale as you bring them back down. Inhale. Bring your elbows down. And then exhale as you bring them back up. And once more, bring your elbows together in front and back to level. And then elbows together down below. And then back to level. And then shake that out. And then shrug those shoulders. And grab your strap if you have one. And then come seated on into Dandasana staff pose. So you want to be able to tilt your pelvis forward here so that you feel an arch in your lower back. Take the strap and bring it around your feet, and then just hold on to the tails. So here you really think about your pelvis tilting forward, meaning you have an arch in your lower back. And if that's not happening, then you need to sit up on something that helps that happen. It's a hip flexor thing that would make your back buckle. So you just want to make sure your spine's tall. Think about being in an L shape, that your torso is vertical here instead of back or forward. It's vertical right now. And then get that lumbar curve going here. Hold on to the strap, keep your head on top of the shoulders, and at all times that we're gonna move forward, keep your head in line with your spine. We're gonna come from the hip crease and bring our chest toward our feet. Don't lock the knees, so just a micro bend in the knees. And keep the head in line with the spine, shoulders down, chest open. So you may only come 1 or 2 inches forward, that's okay. If you were to come all the way forward, the first thing that would hit would be your belly onto your thighs. The last thing to hit would be your head down onto your shins. And then just relax here. So this is a big hamstring stretch. However, it's also a back stretch, your lower backs, especially here. As long as you keep that pelvis tilted forward, you can feel that stretch in the low back. Really breathe and just relax. Okay, come back up. Move the belt to the right foot. And bend the left knee. Bring the left sole of the foot inside the left leg. If your knee bothers you, prop it up with a nice block. Okay, and then reestablish the tilt in your pelvis. Reestablish your little arch in your lower back. It's not exaggerated, but it is arched, tilted forward. So your hip bones are coming towards your legs. Turn your torso to the right so that your chest is lined up over your right leg. And then keeping that spine long, grab your strap, come forward towards your right leg, keep that spine long and keep that pelvic tilt forward and keep the head in line with the spine. So don't allow your chin to drop. Don't allow your neck to crane forward. Just one line from the crown of your head to your tailbone. And then just relax and enjoy the stretch. Good. Okay, come back up, remove the belt for a moment. Bring your left knee up toward the chest. Now keep the right foot flexed, toes pointed up, knee pointed up. Take the right arm and hug the left knee into the chest. Sit up nice and tall. So you hug the knee in so that you can pull your back up straight. And inhale, left arm forward. Exhale, we're going to twist all the way around to the left. Plant your hand behind you. So now your spine is neutral. This is a neutral spine. You're no longer tilting your pelvis one way or the other. And think about those finger-like muscles, your serratus anterior, how they're twisting your torso. So your right ribs, your right serratus anterior muscles are coming over to the left side of your body. And just envision those muscles working to twist your torso. Take a deep breath in. Exhale as you slowly come back to center. And then straighten both legs again. Take the strap. Put it around both feet again. And then hold on to the tails. Okay. Tilt the pelvis forward again so that you have the arch in the low back. Bring your shoulders down, open the chest forward, head in line with the spine, and you're going to come forward again, leaning your chest down towards your legs, towards your feet. And relax. And remember not to lock your knees. Your legs can be straight, but just not locked. And enjoy the stretch. Relax your shoulders and relax your neck. Your neck's not involved here. Your shoulders aren't involved here. Think about a line going from the crown of your head back down to your tailbone. Think about shooting your tailbone out the back door. If you're able to hold your feet without sacrificing your spine, then you can do that. And that reminds me to turn off my phone too. Sorry. Oh, I did turn it off. Good for me. All right. Slowly come back up to center. Move the belt to the left foot. Then bend the right knee. Bring the sole of the foot into the thigh. And again, if the knee bothers you, you can place a block underneath of it or not. The left foot is pointed up. Turn your torso so that it's over the left leg, and then take a strap in each hand as you bring your chest forward. Keep that pelvic tilt forward so that you're thinking long, long, long spine. And then once again, if you can hold your foot here, that's an option for you as long as you don't sacrifice your spine. And keep your neck long, head in line with the spine. And then relax and enjoy the stretch. Okay, release, come back up. Move the belt aside. Bring the right knee up and toward your chest. Left arm hugs that knee in. Bring your chest toward your leg. Inhale, right hand forward. Exhale, twist. And then plant the right hand behind you. So now remember that your left leg stays active. So keep your left toes pointing up so that the muscles in your left leg are engaged. Your spine is neutral. And now you're thinking about those finger-like muscles on your ribs, serratus anterior, left side coming over to the right side, using those muscles to help twist. One more breath. And then slowly come back to center. Okay, bend the knees in front of you. And then bring your fingers behind, pointing towards your feet. We're going to come into a reverse table. So you're going to push into your feet, push into your hands, and shift your hips toward your feet, and then lift your bottom up into the air. Now, here is a posterior pelvic tilt, meaning push your tailbone up toward the ceiling. Take any arch out of your back. Open the chest. So you're like tucking your tailbone, if you understand what that means. I don't like to use that term a lot because it's sort of misleading, but tuck the tailbone, meaning point the tailbone up to the ceiling, and then slowly lower back down. Now, bring your body forward, hug the knees, and then push your spine backwards, bring your forehead to your knees. And once again, this is a posterior pelvic tilt. Your tailbone is underneath of you, tucked underneath of you, pushing your spine out the back door, feeling your vertebra open, feeling all your back muscles stretch. And then slowly come back up to center, and then please come onto your hands and knees, patting your knees accordingly. Yeah, if anybody needs padding here, just holler. All righty, flat back, neutral pelvis. We're gonna feel what our pelvis is doing here. So neutral pelvis, which means there's a tiny little bit of arch in your lower back. Everybody's lumbar is different, of course. So we're going to come into our cat back. So tuck your toes under, arch your back up to the ceiling, and then your tailbone is being tucked, your chin is being tucked. So this is a posterior pelvic tilt. So your tailbone is coming underneath of your body, pushing down. Feel your vertebrae separate. And then inhale through your nose as you come into your cow pose. So now you're going to drop your belly down toward the mat, untuck your toes, and arch your back and do a anterior pelvic tilt. So this is when I say tilt your pelvis forward. This is the anterior tilt. And then slowly exhale back through your nose into your cat, retucking your toes, retucking the tail, retucking the chin. And then slowly come back as you inhale into your cow, reversing the tilt of the pelvis, arching your back, and push your shoulders down toward the back of your mat here. Good. And then exhale, bring your bottom all the way back down towards your heels. And then inhale, come back to your table. And then exhale, bring your tailbone back to your heels. And then inhale back to table. All right. So from here, think about those muscles, the back muscles that start in the front of your body, goes all the way to the back of the serratus anterior. We're going to do some cat bows. Remember, cat bows are not a push-up. Your elbows do not go out to the sides. The elbows come back towards the back of your mat. So you're going to shift your weight, bring your chest forward so you feel like you're going to fall on your face, and then bow down. It doesn't have to be very far, but keep the elbows hugging the sides of your body and then come back up. And you really have to shift your weight forward a lot to make that happen. So shift your weight forward a lot, bow down a little, and then come back up. Okay, so this, even though it's not a push-up, it's not an easy thing to do. So I just want to make sure that you understand when you're going forward. Let's look at my elbows, what they're doing. My chest is going very, very forward, and my elbows hug my ribs. They're not going out like this, but they're hugging my ribs. You don't have to come as far down as that, but you don't allow your elbows to fall out. Let's try it again. It's not easy, but it's worthwhile. This is using a lot of upper body strength, which is why we want to do this. So shift your weight forward, bow down only an inch if you want or more, and then back up. Good, 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 good. Sit all the way back to child pose briefly. Bring your arms beside you, palms facing up. Rest your head on something, and then just open and close your fists gently so that you can release your hands and circle your wrists gently. And then very slowly come up. And then come all the way onto your belly. So now take your hands, or your arms, bring them out in a Y. So they're not in a T, not directly perpendicular to your body, and they're not overhead. They're somewhere in between, overhead and perpendicular. Palms are facing down. Widen your legs so that they're mat width. And then push your pelvis into the mat, push your thighs into the mat, and sort of roll your thighs inward so that you can feel your lower back loosen and your outer glutes tighten. Okay, so you're going to keep your legs on the mat. We're not going to lift the lower half of our body, but you're going to keep it engaged by pushing your pelvis down and pushing your thighs down, rolling the thighs inward, engaging your outer glutes. And then we're going to lift the front half of our body up, our arms and our chest and our head. Now, breathe here. try to relax your neck. I know it's not easy, but try to relax your neck here and let your back do all the work, not your neck, your shoulders and your back, and not even your shoulders so much as your back, your trapezius and your rhomboids. And then come all the way back down and rest for a moment. And then we'll come up again. So just think about those back muscles. The latissimus dorsi that we worked on last couple of weeks, the rhomboids between your shoulder blades, and then just rise on up. And the serratus anterior is working here. Rise up, keep your shoulders away from your ears. Envision all your back muscles working here. And breathe. Good. Come on down, take a break. And then we're going to come up one more time, slowly. And you don't have to come up high here, but just if you envision your back muscles working, it'll happen. If you think it, it will happen. And it'll take pressure off your neck and pressure off your shoulders. Okay, come on down. Bring your arms in front. Fold your arms, rest your head into crocodile arms. And take a little rest from that. All right, now please push back up onto your forearms. Oh, when you're on, yeah, that's why I'll try to speak really clearly, but your pelvis is on, so your legs are behind you and your pelvis is on the mat right now. And your forearms are in front of you. Okay, now so from here, you're gonna walk up to your knees and bring your knees up so that you're in a table position except for your forearms are down. All right, and then pivot your right arm so that it's parallel to the front of your mat, and then your left hand is on the mat right beside your right arm. So your left elbow is off the mat. Left elbow is off the mat. Left elbow is off the mat. So bring your left hand over to the, yeah, there, yeah, Betty, that's what you were just getting ready to do, just do that. It's like Phil's doing. All right. Pick up your left knee, or sorry, your right knee, and bring your right knee into your chest, tuck your chin and push your nose toward the knee, and then kick your right leg straight back behind you. So your left hand is helping support the body as you do that. And we're going to do that again. So you're flexing your spine, bringing the knee in toward the nose, and then kick the leg out behind you, stretching it long. And then once more, the knee comes into the nose. And once more, kick it out behind you, stretching it long, and pause here. And if you want to, bend that knee, the right knee, take your left hand and grab your right foot and kick the foot into the hand. Only if that works for you. Good. And then release. Bring the knee back down, bring the hand back down. So we're back into our awkward table position with our right forearm down, our left hand's on the mat. Take a deep breath. And as you exhale, bring your left knee into your chest. Kick the left leg straight back out and push the toes out the back so that you feel like your leg is elongating. And then bring the knee back in. And then kick it all the way back out. And then bring it back in. And kick it all the way back out. Once more, bring the knee back in. And kick it back out. Okay, now pay attention. Listen up. Keep that leg long, extended. Your left leg is extended. You're going to just bring your toes down to the mat behind you. Left toes down to the mat behind you with the leg extended. Left toes down. Yes, good. All right. You're going to pivot on your right knee because you're going to kick your right foot out to the side. And then you're going to come on to your forearm, your right knee, and your left arm is going to come up into the air. And your left foot is going to line up with your knee. Does that make sense? Yes, just like that, Phil. Yep. And then you're just going to pivot. Yep, good. And then bring your left arm up. Yay, got it. It's a forearm, a modified forearm side plank. Okay, now bring the arm back down, repivot forward, bring the knee back in, and come on back to your forearms being on the mat, parallel to each other in this awkward table position. All right, now we're going to pivot our left forearm so that it's parallel to the front edge of your mat. Take your right hand to support your body. Good. Okay. Inhale. Exhale, pick up your left knee, bring it into the chest, and then kick it back out. Bring it back into the chest, kick it back out. Bring it into the chest, kick it back out. Bring it into the chest, kick it back out. Pause here. And if you want to bend the left leg, take your right hand, grab your left foot, kick the foot into the hand. Right hand grabbing left foot. Is that what I said? That's what I meant. If that's not what I said, it's what I meant. Okay, and then release. Hand comes down, the knee comes in. Take your right knee, bring it into your chest, tuck your chin, nose to knee, kick the right leg out behind you. Bring it back in, and then kick it way out behind you. Stretch the leg when you kick it out behind you. Just point your toes and stretch the leg. Bring it back in, kick it back out, stretch the leg, and then bring it back in, kick it back out. Okay, pay attention. Bring the toes down to the mat, the right toes. Your leg is extended. Pivot your left knee so that you're kicking your left foot out to the side of your mat. Then lean on your left forearm as you raise your right arm up toward the ceiling. And move your right foot so it's in line with your left knee. Very good. Hand comes down, knee comes in. Bring both forearms in front of you, parallel. Okay. So if anybody wants, if anybody needs to rest here, you can, or you can skip this phase altogether. We're going to come into a dolphin pose with our hands flat on the mat. So if this doesn't agree with your shoulders, you can always just sit back to child pose. Otherwise, put your elbows underneath the shoulders. Arms are parallel to each other, shoulder width apart. So this is important. Spread your fingers so they help distribute the weight. And then you're going to tuck your toes, lift your knees off the mat, lift your hips off the mat as high as you can get them. So this is like a forearm downward facing dog. Yay, good, 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 good. And only stay for a couple breaths. You can bring your knees down anytime you want. But just breathe here. Forearm downward facing dog or dolphin pose. And then bring your knees down to the mat. And then come up to your table. Good. And now we're going to walk our hands forward. Come into puppy pose. So keep your hips where they are. Put your spine in neutral. So you don't tuck your tailbone here. Put your spine in neutral. Let your head melt between your arms. So you might have to walk your hands quite forward. Spread the fingers wide and see if you can straighten your arms by rotating your eye of the elbow forward and up. Squeeze the forearms, yeah, good, toward each other and roll your shoulders out. And the head just rests between the arms. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay, good. All right, now walk the hands back. Remember what you just did, and then tuck your toes. Come into your downward facing dog with the same upper body position that you just had in puppy. In other words, spread the fingers wide, squeeze the forearms toward each other, move the eye of the elbow forward so that your shoulders roll out. And then bend the knees, walk up to the hands. and then very slowly rise up. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, arms in a T, Anjali Mudra. And then pause for a moment into Tadasana, mountain pose. And active rest here. So think about your spine alignment, think about your head right on top of the shoulders. So think about that drawing I gave you showing all that misalignment with the upper cross syndrome and the lower cross syndrome. Don't do that. Instead, do the opposite. Just be completely straight as a stick, as if you're lying on the ground. And then breathe. Okay, please grab blocks if you have them and you want to use them. Bring them to the front of your mat. And place your feet between the blocks. Make sure you're forward enough so that when you step back, you're still going to have mat behind you. You got pretty long legs, Phil, so you might want to move up just a little bit. Yeah, and then move your feet up between. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Inhale, bring your arms up. Exhale, bend the knees, forward fold, place the hands on the blocks or mat beside your feet. They're right beside your feet. This alignment's important. Inhale, exhale, step the right foot back so that you're in a high lunge. Pause here. Think about your alignment. Your left knee is directly over the ankle. Your left calf is perpendicular to the ground. Your hips are level. So the tendency is to cock this on this side, you're going to tend to cock your right hip up. So bring it down so that your sacrum is level and think about one straight line from the crown of your head to your back heel. So no hunching of shoulders here. Don't drop your chin. Keep your head in line with the spine. Keep your shoulders back and relaxed away from your ears. And think about maybe even putting the shoulder blades together on your back. Now, you're doing a posterior pelvic tilt here. So your tailbone goes down toward the back of the mat. Put weight into the right hand. Twist open to the left. Good. Hand comes down. Okay. Step your left foot back to plank. Good. Okay, knees come down. All the way down. And then we're going to shift our chest between our arms to upward facing dog. So push your shoulders down from the ears, push your chest forward. You can keep your knees down on the mat or you can lift your knees off the mat. Good. Okay, and then push. If your knees are up, bring them back down. Using your hands on the blocks, tuck your toes and push up to downward facing dog using blocks. So in this downward dog, just because your hands are on blocks doesn't mean anything changes. You still bend your knees, you still tilt your, bring your tailbone way up in the air. Your back is nice and long. You're squeezing your forearms toward each other, rolling the shoulders out. Your spine is neutral here. Now, I always say put an arch in your low back when you do this because people tend to do the opposite and tuck their tail. So you're not really arching your lower back, but it just feels like you're arching your lower back. Inhale, take the right leg up behind you. Exhale, swing it up between the blocks or pick it up and put it there. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, step the left foot up and then slowly come all the way up. Inhale. Exhale, arms in a T. Anjali Mudra. Pause for a breath or two here. Inhale up. Exhale, bend the knees, fold all the way back down. Inhale. Exhale, left foot steps back to high lunge. So you want to step far back enough so that you can get that long straight line from the crown of your head. Right knee is over the ankle. Level your hips. push your shoulders away from your ears. In fact, push your shoulders toward the back of the mat. And then put weight in the left hand and twist open to the right. And at any time, if you want to put the left knee down, put the left knee down here. And then that hand comes back. And then step your right foot back to full plank. Knees come down. Shift your weight forward to upward facing dog. So your chest comes, push your chest way forward like a pigeon. Push your shoulders to the back of the mat and away from the ears. Your knees are on the mat, or now you can lift your knees off the mat if you like. Good. And then push back to table, tuck your toes, downward facing dog, hands on blocks. Hands on blocks helps distribute the weight to the back end of your body like the dog should feel. So that's why I like using this. Inhale, left leg up behind. Exhale, swing it up between the hands or blocks. Good. Inhale, exhale, step up. And then slowly come up. Inhale. Exhale, arms in a T. Anjali Mudra. And then pause in Tadasana, mountain pose. Active rest. Think about your posture. Chest open, shoulders down. Neutral pelvis. Equal weight in both feet and in all four corners of each foot. So when the four corners of each foot, the corners are in mound of your big toe, mound of your little toe, inside heel, outside heel. Those are the four corners of your feet, and every single corner should be firm on the mat. Spread the toes if you can. Americans tend to scrunch their toes because they're not used to going barefoot. Spread the toes wide. It helps you balance. It helps you walk. Okay. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, come into chair. And pause here for a breath or two. Tuck the tailbone downwards. Push the tail down so you're not overarching your lower back. The tailbone's down. Your neck is long and relaxed. If your shoulders bother you, you can bring your arms in front instead of by your ears. And then just breathe. So this is using a lot of abdominal strength as well as your legs, obviously, because you probably feel it in your legs more than anything. But truly, you're using your abs just as much. Inhale. Exhale, bring your hands all the way down to the blocks. Now, slowly straighten your legs, keep your hands on the blocks and slowly straighten your legs, coming to a forward fold. Now, if this is a reach for you, you can bring your blocks higher here. So this is a Uttanasana forward fold. Your legs are straight-ish, but not locked. And your hands can be any level on the blocks. Just let your spine hang here. Just let it hang, let your head dangle. Relax the upper part of your body and just allow your hamstrings to stretch out a little bit here. If you can bring your hands all the way down to the mat, feel free to do so. Keep your legs straight-ish. Try to keep your hips over the ankles. Don't allow your butt to go too far back. Okay, step both, using with or without blocks, step both feet back to your downward facing dog. Let your head hang between the arms. Push your chest down toward your thighs. Bend the knees, push your chest down toward your thighs. Lengthen your back, neutral spine here. Squeeze the forearms toward each other so that you can roll your shoulders out. Okay, and then bring your knees down. And then sit back to child pose for a couple of breaths, resting your head on something. You can either leave your arms extended in front of you, or you can bring your arms by your sides, palms facing up. Please slowly push up. And then we're going to come lying on our backs with your heads facing toward me, but I want to show you what we're going to do first so that I try to explain this very well, but sometimes I don't come across explaining well enough. We're going to bring our knees into our chest, take each hand and grab each shin, okay? And then we're going to pull the knees in, and our elbows are going to go out to the sides in order to bring the knees really squeezed into our chest like this. And then I'm going to say, straighten your arms as you push your shins into your hands. You're going to straighten your arms like so, okay? And then you're going to arch your low back. And then you're going to bring the knees back in and tilt your pelvis the opposite direction. All the while your head is relaxed. And then you're going to push your shins into your hands as you straighten your arms and put your arch in your lower back. So what this is doing is tilting your pelvis from anterior to posterior tilt. Okay, so let's give it a shot. Lie with your head towards me and then bring your knees bent. And before you grab your knees, just keep your feet on the mat for a moment. Before you grab your knees, feel where your spine is right now in a neutral spine. So you've got a little bit of space in your lower back here. Neutral, relax your back, just neutral, neutral, neutral. Okay, so now just so we get the feel of the pelvic tilt, push your low back into the mat, get rid of all the space in your lower back, and your hip bones are now coming toward your chest. And now you're going to go back to neutral, put that little bit of space in your lower back. And now you're going to exaggerate the arch in your low back by doing an anterior tilt. So tilt your pelvis forward, arch your lower back, bring your hip bones toward your feet, toward your knees, and then come back to neutral. Okay, so that's the tilting of the pelvis. Pelvis is really important in your posture. So now we're going to grab their shins with our hands. In fact, everything we do in yoga is important for your posture. Bring the knees in towards your chest by bending your elbows out to the side so you can really, really squeeze the knees into your chest and feel your lower back stretch by tilting your pelvis posteriorly. Okay, now keep your head and neck relaxed and straighten your arms as you push your shins into your hands and then put a little arch in your low back. And then bring them back in and then push the back into the mat so you're tilting your pelvis the opposite direction, and then go back again, extending your arms long. And then once more, bringing the hands into the chest. And then once more, extending your arms, putting the arch in your low back. And now release your shins, let your feet float down to the mat. Bring your arms in a T beside your body, palms facing up. Good. Push into your feet, lift your hips, scoot them 2 inches to the left. Let your knees drop to the right and then look to the left. So as we did at the beginning of class, these twisting postures, you neutralize your spine this way. So we just got through doing pretty much a reclining cat-cow, equivalent to a reclining cat-cow. This way, we're just neutralizing our spine and enjoying this delicious twist. And then bring your head back to center, knees come back to center, hips come back to center. Push into your feet, lift your hips 2 inches to the right. Allow your knees to fall to the left and look to the right. Head comes back to center, knees come back to center, hips come back to center. And now just bring your knees back into your chest and hug your knees in and just roll around, release your spine. Do what feels good to your back right now. And then please bring your feet to the mat and extend your legs long on the mat for Shavasana. And then please focus on your breath. Take a mental body scan. Relax any tension that you find in your body. Slow down your breathing. Soften your jaw, your neck, and your shoulders. And relax your mind as you let your thoughts float by like fluffy clouds. Please bring your awareness back to your breath. Deepen your breathing as you gently wake up your body, making small movements. And then please very slowly bend your knees and roll to your right side in a fetal position to seal the practice. And then please very slowly, keeping a quiet mind, push up to seated. And then please join me with the closing chant. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May the entire universe be filled with peace and joy, love and light. Victory to the Cat Rock Yoga class and to the inner teacher. Jai Shri Satguru Maharaj Ki Jai. Knuckles to my forehead honors God. Knuckles to my chin honors you. Knuckles to my heart honors myself. Namaste. Jai yogis. Jai, 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 jai.